What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Sarah from Sarah Styles here. February numbers are in. I run everything through my analytical dashboards. I am going to show you how my February was, the strategies that I did, if they worked, if they didn't work, how everything turned out, as well as looking at kind of the economic factors and what's happening in the economy right now to help drive or not help what's happening in the economy that impacts our sales. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for joining. I am a reseller if you are new here, and I also do data analytics. My YouTube channel and Instagram are dedicated to analytics and helping you do this as a business, even if you're part-time, to make money and hit the goals and work smarter and not harder. I do have 2 analytical dashboards for the reseller to look at your sales and then also look at your inventory so that you are sourcing smarter and not harder to hit your monetary goals no matter what they are. In today's video, I am going through my sales dashboard. I will start with showing you economic data, what is happening in the economy, how that is impacting our sales, things to be watchful for as you move forward in the year for your business as well. And then I will show you quickly percentages of my financial data, what I was sourcing and kind of what I look at financially. And then I will get into the sales dashboard, my split outs on cross-platform strategies that I was trying, how they were working out and all of that. So keep watching for that. Before we get started, very important question. Drop a note down below for me. I mean, it's very important. I've been debating with my husband on what is better, chocolate or vanilla ice cream. I know, super silly, but like, drop a note down below. Do you prefer chocolate or do you prefer vanilla? I prefer vanilla with like chocolate stuff on top of it. I love chocolate, but I don't like chocolate ice cream. I also don't like chocolate milk. I had a bad experience in like elementary school, and I just won't drink chocolate milk. But so that was, we were having a quick debate. So drop a note down below. Tell me what you prefer as well. Also, let me know how your February was. Are you meeting your goals? Are you headed to meet your goals? Were things not how you thought they would be? What do you think was going on? If you have questions for me, always leave a note down below, and feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. But let's get started and look at the data. All right, so the first thing that I want to share with you is kind of my financial data, what I look at. This is not a dashboard that I sell, but I think it's important to track. I've done quite a few lives on how to do this. I have my own dashboard set up that my husband set up, but QuickBooks, Quicken, there's spreadsheets that you can get on Etsy that'll do this for you for financial reasons. Things that impacted me. So this month, if you watched my video last month, I was going to cross post, and I did. I cross posted almost 300 items on 4 different platforms. That was the majority of what I did for the month. And so my items bought here, 64% less items I bought last month, February, compared to my year to date, so last year's average. And that's because I wasn't sourcing so much because I was cross-posting. Cross-posting takes a lot of time. That's what I was doing. That makes sense. However, without posting it or buying as much, I sold 7% more items than my average last year. And then I do have more on hand than I did last year. That makes sense because, I'm accumulating items as we go. What's interesting here and what I have been working on, if you follow me, is increasing my average sale price. I am lowering how much I am actually doing reseller things so that I can focus more on social media. I can focus more on dashboard services. I do consults. I run a Facebook group. I am doing, tech support behind the dashboard. It takes up a lot of my time and the analytics behind it. So my actual reseller time is coming down. I'm not on apps. I'm not listing as much, all of that. However, because my average sale price here, I'm increasing my average sale price, it has still gone up 17% compared to my year-to-date average. And my average item cost is gone down. That, I kind of track it, but our inventory costs are so low that it's not a huge swing. It usually means I found lots of stuff at the bins, or I found more stuff for the day or for the month at retail. I didn't buy that many items this month, so that's really not a huge factor in stuff. Your margin, how much you're making, how much your item sold for on average compared to how much you're spending on average, that you want to be a high percent. And this is, so that's 20%. I'm up 20% for my margin compared to last year, my average for last year. So as a new business, I am starting to, I'm wanting to grow. I'm wanting to see that upward trend. Eventually, I'm going to plateau at where I think is sustainable. Right now, I am still wanting to see growth. So these green numbers in certain areas are always really good for me. Etsy is up. That's mainly dashboard. However, if you watch my inventory video to follow this video, I will show you what's sold. I did sell 3 items on Etsy other than my dashboard, 3 vintage items, which is really good, I feel, because I only started listing stuff on there last month. So I was happy with that. And what I loved about Etsy, and I'll get into this in my the next video, but people just bought it. Like, there was no offers, there was no haggling, like they just bought it. So that's kind of amazing. eBay items are up. So this is I only started selling on eBay halfway through the year. So some of these stats are a little swayed because of that. But my eBay items, I did sell more eBay items this February. I'm saying this, but it's February, this month compared to year-to-date average. These fees and shipping for the purpose of this video are not completely accurate in the sense that this is, for the month of February. However, my eBay invoice is the 15th to the 15th. So that's actually missing half a month. So I actually, once that comes in, I have to go back and take my fees and shipping out of February. So for the purpose of this video, it's not completely accurate. Kind of ignore those numbers. My shipping is not, these numbers aren't right. My revenue though, minus, this is net revenue, also is not completely accurate because I haven't taken that out. But I will say overall, I have sold more on eBay as well. Other items are going to be, this is qualified as Poshmark, and as sometimes every once in a while I have a couple private clients that'll come over to my house that I know and will purchase from there. So I had a couple of those this month actually, and then also my consults go into that as well. I am going to be redoing this after tax season this year and kind of reallocating things in different places because I've added stuff to my plate since we made this last year. My inventory, so 50% higher means that I am actually, green means better. So it actually means that I have spent less on inventory. And that's because I wasn't really sourcing, not because I was sourcing, less, not because my sourcing prices were less, but because I was really sourcing less items. I mean, I bought 64% less items. That's a lot. My expenses were up, and that, I'm trying to think what that is. I have started paying a lister, and so that'll go into there as well. And I wasn't paying a lister most of last year. So I think that's probably, and I've also started paying someone to come over and clean my shoes. Although I don't know if I did that last month because I didn't buy that much stuff. But that's my expenses. When I look at the dollar amount, I wasn't overly concerned with that. My marketing has gone up, so I allocate, my expenses depending on where they go to marketing. I am trying to, with a new dashboard, you can see your repeat customers. So I have tried to do a couple new marketing things there. Just buying stuff that has my name on it. I bought a stamp that I can package stuff with. Let me see what else. I think I'm buying like a shirt, just a couple, things that kind of help with my branding. Total expenses are up. My total expenses, so 13% means in the green, actually means my total expenses are down, which is good. My net income, to me, so my husband is in finance, and he looks at things differently, like how your business is doing. I look at how much money is in my bank account. Am I actually, all of the work that I'm doing, am I actually able to go get a tattoo next month like I want to because I have extra money? Or, for other people, am I able to go to Disney that's what I care about. My husband's more finance, where he looks at business, differently, and margins and all of that stuff. But for me, my net income, am I doing all of this work? Am I actually getting anything? My net income, what I took home after all my expenses, after all my taxes, I set aside tax money. My net income was up 144% compared to what I was last year. And like I said, as a small business, I am striving to get that to increase. I have a number that I am striving for, and then I think it'll probably plateau there, at least as far as my time commitment is allowed now, because I do have little kids at home with me. So that is that. Before I look into my dashboard, I do want to quickly note on the economy. If you watch my videos in the past, I can't make that any bigger. If you watch my videos in the past, you've seen this chart. I just quickly bring it in. How is retail and food services doing? There is a month lag in total retail, so we can only look at January. So there's a month lag, so it'll come out, February will come out next month when I do my video, but this kind of gives you an idea. Above the line is good. That means positive growth. We're looking at year over year, month over month, sorry. Change in growth from the previous month. So retail services, or general merchandise is right here. That's what we want to look at. That is up. That's always a good thing. However, you're looking at less than 0.5%. So that's not huge, but it is in the right direction. And that's kind of what we've seen, in past months. It does look like it's slightly bigger than the past month. Something I will note. So January, no. That's actually pretty good. So I'm thinking of the timeline. So the impeachment December was slightly down. And I know a lot of people had some bad sales in December, and there was like talk of an impeachment, and then he was going to impeachment. That kind of was happening in January as well. So that could be why we're not seeing quite as big a growth there. Now, so they do e-commerce quarterly. So they're quarterly for the end of last year. So Q4 of 2019 was released before this video. And that's what you're looking at right here. So the blue is adjusted, which is kind of what we're really caring about. And you are looking at quarter over quarter growth from the previous year, right? Yes, from the previous year. So how much are you growing compared to the previous time period? So you are growing, e-commerce is growing. However, you can see this is up as the previous. It kind of has a little bit of a dip. It's still going up, but not as much. I wrote down, I don't have the numbers written down. I pulled this yesterday and then I did a video today, but it was from the numbers that I was looking at, and you can see that here we are going up, but we are growing at a much slower pace, if that makes sense. So e-commerce is growing, but not quite as fast or at as big a rate as it had been before. Some things that I think factor into this, again, we're looking at Q4 of December. There was an impeachment talk. We're looking at the whole quarter, so there was kind of like an impeachment talk, and then impeachment kind of went into play. Anything politically like that, people are uncertain, and that can affect the economy. Moving forward, things that I think might affect the economy and our business as well. Two main factors right now. This is a presidential election year, so the uncertainty of the next president can sometimes have a factor on people spending, and then as well as, and I don't want to get into debates over all of this. I'm just telling you from an economic standpoint, the talks of the coronavirus right now are kind of big, and what play that will have as it makes its way to the U.S. if it does. That if it comes all the way, there's been talk of schools and businesses shutting down, which then could lead people to shop more online. But then that also means from a reseller perspective, you are not able to be outsourcing. So those are just something to kind of keep an eye on and pay attention to what's going on so that you can adjust your business accordingly. So enough of that. Let's get into my data, what I was doing for the month. So this is my month. This is my month. Things that I was doing for the month. So you kind of have an idea. Let me make this a little bigger. So you kind of have an idea of what we're looking at and what was going on for my month. There we go. Oh, no. Okay, so things that I did this month, I was cross-posting. I was not buying that many items. You saw from my financial data that I track, I was not listing that many items. I was listing new items in the sense of so most of my stuff is in Poshmark, and I was listing to eBay, Tradesy, and Etsy. Tradesy and Etsy are completely new platforms for me. So that was all new postings. And then eBay, I probably listed maybe 100 items on eBay as new items. So my revenue split out here. I had no sales on Tradesy. So that's not in here. You don't see that. I have all my items that are, so Tradesy is more like high-end stuff. Not everything's posted there, just things that kind of fit there. No sales there yet, so you don't see that here. eBay picked up. My eBay in the past has been a much smaller split. It picked up. And then you see Etsy and Poshmark. Poshmark historically for me has been the meat of the business. As I'm starting to cross post, that is starting to change, which is what I'm aiming for, because I am able to now diversify and have different, if I'm not making a sale on Poshmark, I'm getting one on eBay as well. And then I'm also broadening my reach, because eBay and Etsy as well have global programs. You can ship internationally, as well as just different people that are looking at it. So that's kind of my plan. And for the first month, these numbers I'm really happy with. I'm actually going to show you, this is in my financial dashboard as well. So this is not part of the, there we go. This is not part of the sales dashboard that I sell. This is part of my financial dashboard that I personally have, but this is my total revenue. You can totally tell when I started using my data. So I was building the dashboards around April and May of last year, which is why my revenue went down, because I was not doing reselling things. But then as soon as I was like, cool, I have this dashboard, I'm going to legit pay attention to it and really focus on my data. Boom, I am seeing an upward trend once I really started sourcing what was working for me and doing strategies that were working for me. You can see my upward trend. Here we're up at February. Again, some more growth. This line up here, for the time being until my kids are in school, that's my goal, my goal revenue. And so I'm getting there. Slowly, I am getting there. Definitely from here, but slowly, I am getting there. Hopefully in the next couple months, I can hit that. So that's my total revenue. And then I also want to show my split out for this as well. You can see, so this is what happens. I'm just on Poshmark, and you can see Poshmark stays relatively about the same. December was awful on Poshmark. It was terrible. But you can see my Poshmark, the chunk of it stays relatively the same. But I'm seeing that growth because I am starting to add other revenue sources. Not saying my strategy is the only strategy and the best strategy. That is what I'm doing based off of my data, based off of what my skill set is and what is working, time commitment, sourcing, all of that. You can watch past videos on why I've chose to do that. Send me a DM, leave questions down below. But I've decided to diversify my income and add some other revenue streams besides just Poshmark, and it is paying off. You can see this eBay is picking up. It has taken me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months steadily on eBay to finally start seeing an increase in sales. Which is exciting, but 6 months on eBay. I did a live the other day, and it's so true what I said. eBay is like a long-term commitment. You have to put the time and energy in to get the payout. It's not where Poshmark is more like a one-night stand. You can go to Poshmark and you can spend all day on Poshmark and do followers and do shares and do listings, and you will see results. eBay is slow and steady wins the race. You have to put the time and commitment, like a long-term relationship, in to start to see results. And finally, 6 months later, I am starting to see results. And I actually, so if you guys follow El Ducho on, she's on YouTube. She has lots of really great information, and she was on the Thrifters Villas podcast that I recently listened to, and she was saying the same thing. She compared eBay to like a weight loss diet, which is, I also really liked that as well. You do a weight loss diet and you do it for one day and you're not going to see results. You have to be slow and steady to actually start seeing results. And depending on your weight loss program, it can take up to 6 months to really start seeing some results. So there's that. Let's go back to my dashboard. You can see these are my revenue split out items. Keep in mind, Etsy for me is also the dashboard. Only 3 items, clothing items, and then my revenue is coming from the dashboard. So this average sale price isn't necessarily an indicator of the items that sold on there, because I also have the dashboard on there as well. Items sold compared to revenue platform. eBay, so this will tell you the story over here. eBay is, my average sale price is higher there. However, keep in mind that I am only listing items, my higher price items on there. I may start to just cross post everything. I have 600 active items, over 600 active items, so that'll take me time. Daily, what was happening daily? I do have a virtual assistant, a share for Poshmark. So my shares are very consistent because someone's doing it for me. So these total order days are not because I'm not sharing. It could be, I will tell you, I was not on Posh hardly at all because I was cross-posting. That's where my time was. I was not doing followers. I was not doing shares. If you've watched my Poshmark algorithm strategies that work video, activity, you have to be active on there to be making sales. Besides the sharing, I was not really doing that. And so I'm wondering if that was affecting my sales. Sunday being my highest sale percent days, followed by Monday. Fridays, I'm going to note, and I'll talk about this again on the next tab. But Friday, I moved to the strategy, and follow, I'm going to do a video probably in the next week or two on my offer to like strategies, the different strategies that I've tried over the months, and show you the data on what worked best. But Friday, I have been starting to send out offers for the week on Fridays. So that would be my guess as to why that's a higher percent. So now let's look at the strategies. What is working for me on Poshmark? Again, this is only February data. When I'm looking at, I like to look at the month, see what's working. When I'm looking at like a strategy or like sourcing things, I want to look at a larger data set, because I'm not selling. If I was selling like 500 items a month, I think that my strategies would be a little bit more realistic when I'm looking at a high level. But for the sake of this video, I'm just looking at February. So my offer to likes is up 22%, which is actually higher than it usually is. And something that I changed is only sending out offers once a week. And I chose to do it on Fridays because Fridays are payday. And Friday leads into the weekend. So I typically do it like Friday night, as like I'm winding down for the night. I just sit there and send out offers. Another reason that I decided to do this is time is money. And sending out an offer every single day was taking me a half hour to an hour every single day. And then doing it 10 to 15 minutes after every offer. I mean, that was taking out chunks of time of my day where I could have been using it to cross post, or I could have been using it for my dashboard or social media. There was various different places that I thought my time was better spent than sending out offers. So now I kind of compounded it into once a week on Fridays because it's paydays, and then it leads into the weekends, which in general e-commerce tends to be higher on the weekends. And 22%, that's a high offer to likes for me. I'm usually down around the 10% range. So that seems to be working for me. Follow, however, there's other things that I look at. So definitely make sure to subscribe if you want to see, and hit the little notifications if you want to see the different offer to like strategies that I've tried and the different data that I'm looking at to help me decide what strategy is working for me. Bundles is 17%, which is actually down for me. I'm usually between 30 and 50%, and that's because in the past, I will go in every single like, I go in and tell them about my bundle strategy. This month, like I said, I was not on Poshmark as often as I usually am because I was focusing on cross-posting and other ventures in my business, and that shows. My bundles were down. The other thing, my average sale price for bundles is my lowest average sale price. Usually that's not the case because my bundles I do a free item and it helps keep my average sale price up. Like I said, I wasn't focusing on that. And it shows in my data. Shipping discount for me is the same as my offer to likes. I do not offer a shipping discount if, I do not offer a shipping discount unless I have to, like for offer to likes. So, right. I just had an idea. The other thing that I like to look at and I want to know, so if you're looking at these different strategies, it's good to know what works, but it's also good to know how that affects your revenue. So if you're doing a lot of offer to likes and you're getting a lot of sales from offer to likes, but it's driving down your revenue, then while it's working, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is bringing you money, right? Like could you be making more money if you weren't sending out offers and letting people come to you? So definitely make sure to watch my video to come on that. My offer to likes. Oh, the other thing I want to note. So another reason that my offer to likes is high, and I forgot about this. The other reason my offer to likes is high is I am like getting rid of old stale inventory. And so a lot of my offers, I went in and sent out like $5 or $10 offers. So some items I made like $1 on. And so that was also bringing down my average sale price. My average sale price is typically around like $35 to $40, and we'll see a little bit more of that in my the next video that I do on what's sold. So that's something to keep in mind as well. And that was my point. Like my offer likes percent is up, but at what price? I was sending out really low offers. So while I was getting a lot of people accepting them, I was only making $1 or $2 on those items. It was driving down my average sale price. You have to, when you're looking at this data, what's working is good, but what you're striving for is making money. So what are the strategies are making you the most money? My customers, 3% repeat customers. That's actually really exciting for me. It's usually around 1% to 2%. And especially because I'm only looking at a month, that means 2 people, that's not a ton, but that's hopeful to me that these new branding strategies that I am doing, a lot of it is social media, getting out there, having my name out there on social media, but then also like with my packaging and branding myself is working. 3% is pretty high. By state, what I thought was kind of interesting, Texas took the lead. California is still up there, but Texas for me this month was higher. And so something that you can do with this data is look at the trends in these areas that you sell a lot to. California, if you looked at the Poshmark report too, so this data that we're looking at is only Poshmark. If you haven't followed me before, this is your first time watching this video or about the dashboard. The strategies that we're looking at are only Poshmark strategies, and like this chart is only your Poshmark data. But Poshmark put out their report about their sales trends and stuff, and they said California is has the most sales, which you see that in my video, and all of the other people that use my dashboard, typically speaking, are seeing kind of the same thing. But for me this month, Texas took the lead, and so looking at what's trending in Texas, what can I source that people in Texas want? Because a lot of it is that I am maybe selling a lot to Texas because I can get brands that people in Texas want. I also tend to sell stuff up here in the colder states because I can get winter, I'm in Colorado, and I can get winter outdoorsy stuff that I sell often. And then sometimes, and I've had quite a few people down in the southern states also reach out to me about winter stuff as well, because they're like, hey, I'm going on vacation to, ski, and I don't want to spend $150 on a new pair of Sorel, so I will buy it on Poshmark. So that is my data. What does it mean? What am I doing moving forward? I am going to stop this video. That is the question. Why am I looking at this data? This data, one, validates what I'm doing and lets me know how I'm doing, because we don't have... Poshmark doesn't tell us, right? There's not a place to put it all together. So it kind of tells me, gut check, how am I doing? What strategies are working for me? Cross-posting, It's working. It is slow and steady wins the race on eBay. I have been contemplating the past couple months whether I wanted to quit doing eBay, and I've decided based off of this last month that I'm going to continue to put my time and efforts into eBay. eBay has legit analytics as well. So that's exciting. If you follow me, you know I love that. And so I'm going to spend a little bit more time on eBay looking at their analytics and see how I can work on increasing my sales there and get things cross-posted. The nice thing that I'm also enjoying about cross-posting as well is having it on various different platforms allows me time for it, allows it to be kind of a passive income. This past weekend, I did nothing on any of the platforms and I still had a couple sales while I was doing other things, but I wasn't doing I wasn't listing, I wasn't doing sale, I wasn't doing various reselling activities. I was doing social media and dashboard type activities, and it was still allowing me to have that passive income. So having it on various different platforms. So I'm going to focus on cross-posting more this month as well. The other thing with sourcing less means that I don't have to list as much, which is time consuming. And then also it means that I'm not spending as much. However, you have to have items listed to sell. So I'm not going to completely stop sourcing, but there's only so much time in the day, right? And so my sourcing has gone down as I'm focused on cross-posting items that I already have. I am still out there sourcing, but I'm being much more selective in what I'm picking up because I don't have a ton of time to list. So once I will focus on getting kind of all my stuff cross-posted, maybe go to a couple other platforms. I'm not on Mercari. If you sell on Mercari, leave notes down below. I've contemplated Mercari because I hear it's lower price items and my average sale price is fairly high, especially for the Poshmark market. So I'm wondering if I should do Mercari. And then I love vintage. And so I'm contemplating moving over to Depop as well. If there's other platforms that you like, there's 20 platforms or something out there. Drop notes down below on why you like them and which ones you like. And I think I asked this already, but I do want to hear, I want this to be a community. And so how was your February? Did you see an increase? Are you hitting your goals? What did you do to hit your goals? What are you trying? All of that jazz. So definitely leave notes down below. That is my financial data. Follow this up with, I will be releasing my what sold video. So I will be looking at the inventory dashboard to see what sold for me in February, as well as sharing my items, showing you all of the items that sold on various different platforms. So if you like content like this, make sure to give me some thumbs up and subscribe. Hit the notification so you get notified of that. Make sure to follow me on Instagram as well. I do a lot of content over there. Live videos I am doing on my platform as well. My philosophy on my YouTube is, I think of the quote, individually we are a drop, together we are an ocean. I do not know all of the things, nor do I pretend to, and I think that we can learn so much in having those conversations together and learning and growing together. So my YouTube is that platform for people to come on and we talk about all the things, business strategies, tax accounting, inventory. So if you have an idea, something that you would like to see, leave a note down below or contact me. Or if you're an expert in something, send me a DM. Let's get you on this show. So I hope everyone has a wonderful day. I hope your February was great, and I hope March brings lots and lots of sales for you. Have a good day.